Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another mastermind. I am so happy to see all of you. So many familiar faces.
Yeah, that's true.
We've got Felix, we've got Kareem, my boy Mihai, we have Chris, the guy. We have so many more. We have Taksin, and guys, we have a very special guest today. His name is John Corres.
Hello,
He
guys.
is
Nice to meet you all.
Hello,
Right?
John. He is the star of today's show. He is the king of browse content. We talk about shorts, we talk about search, but we haven't talked about browse. This guy is the one to talk to. So I'm very excited. I'm very happy to see everybody here today. I'm just admitting more people here. I actually bought Google Meet Premium for this as well. So
Yeah, slowly improving.
thank you, guys. You see, that's why we need money, because we need to buy Google Meet Premium to record this and make it great for everybody. But anyway, we already have a lot of people here.
Yeah, let's
What
wait
do you
maybe a
guys
minute.
say? Yeah, let's give it another
Yeah.
minute. 5 past. We're sharp with this, and then we can get started. How's everybody doing? John, how are you, man?
I
Before
must
we
say,
start.
I hop into a lot of these mastermind calls, and this is probably the most enthusiastic host I have encountered.
Very good.
Let's
go.
I imagine the host does kind of emit vibes amongst everyone else to get excited for this call. So again, it's my pleasure to meet you all. I mean, I'd say all your names, but honestly, there's a lot of people. 19, holy crap. Usually I do address everyone individually saying hello, 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 but there's a lot of you, so just a group greeting hopefully will suffice.
Perfect.
Yeah, George, Ron, when you guys give me the signal to get started as to when I can start, or you want to wait for more people, or what's your usual average attendee rate?
Yeah, like
Ooh,
5 minutes
depends.
max, mostly because we also expect people to come on time, but
Yeah.
maybe also use the time right now, like when we do the questions, let's do the same as before. So just one question per person, and turn on your camera, please, if you're asking the question, to make it a little bit more personal. That will be much appreciated. And raise your hand, of course, when you have the question. But we'll get to the questions a little bit later on.
Yes.
Yeah, Oscar, I see you in the call. I've spoken to Oscar quite a bit of times as well, but
Awesome.
yeah, we'll give it another minute or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have quite a bit of people. Like, yeah, everybody's here. Yes, hi John. So everybody is pulling up. All right.
Quick reminder.
What do you think? What do you say? How do you feel? Ready to
Yeah,
start?
let's go.
Yeah.
So
All right. Perfect.
So
So without further ado, take it away, John.
yeah, so just a brief background about me, guys. I got started about over 3 years ago with YouTube automation. I come from med school background. Med school, as in I went to med school here in Vegas, and I went through the entire 7 years of becoming a degree that involves like a doctorate. But during that time, I kind of valued time. I noticed that why was I spending money to get a degree in which that would actually lead me to spend less time with family and friends. So my huge value in this was time. I really valued time, and so I tried to find the best possible way to disconnect trading time for money. You guys may have heard this from other entrepreneurs, Elon Musk. Disconnecting time from money was my main goal. To kind of fast forward how much I make, I do revenue rise. It's over 30 grand average per month, and this is the rolling past 12 months, but that was never initially my goal. It just became the byproduct of me really wanting to free up my time and spend my time how I want. So 3 years ago, I came across this YouTube automation model. I studied very vigorously. So during school, we study for exams. Like every week, there's quizzes and exams in med school. I studied this channel called Watch Mojo, and I watched interviews from that guy. Practically every single interview I can find from that guy. I bought his book. It's called 10-Year Overnight Success. I think you can buy it on Amazon. I read that, watched all his hour-long interviews, and then that's when I started pulling the trigger on trying this myself. So December of 2019, I'd say I posted my first video. 2 months later, I got my first viral video. I think to date, if I pull it up, that video now has 11 million views. Highest grossing video is about $85,000 from a single video. And all that happened within, I'd say, the past 3 years or so. So I don't account this to being an overnight success, nor is it a 2-month success. But it definitely, I'd say 2020, 21 was I actually started honing in my skills. I've probably posted over 5,000 videos. I like to say like what I have in my back pocket, or what I what I'm most experienced in is analyzing videos. I've probably analyzed over 5,000 videos. I've really tried to figure out why videos drop, why some thumbnails work for some niches, why certain topics work, why there's spikes, drops, all those metrics. I've analyzed so many videos that I've personally. And, with all due respect to, this mastermind call or teachings that you find on YouTube, there's no better learner than I feel than to actually start posting, reading your analytics. My opinion is just an opinion. George's opinion, Ron's opinion, with all you guys, again, respect. It's just opinions. What actually matters is the data that you receive from people who you don't know on YouTube. So you're not going to learn if you don't start posting. YouTube is essentially a numbers game. The more videos you post, the more data you can analyze. Someone who's only posting once a month versus someone who's posting every day, there's a lot more data to analyze, and they can pull reasonable decisions based off of that, rather than me just telling them, oh, I think that's a good thumbnail. Oh, I think it's a good video. I don't think you should do that. Yeah, I say that based on experience, but your number one kind of leader in this is going to be the data that you get from your posting your videos. So with any call I get into, I don't like to make it about me. I always try to offer as value as much as possible. So I think that was a good 4-minute intro about where I come from and such. So if we're okay, we'll just knock it down. Do you just want me to go down the list, starting with Jeremiah's marketing, and ask if they have any questions, or do people just hop in and out?
They can just raise their hand and
Okay, so there's a raising hand feature. Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
I know that.
So
Mikey, what's up, man? Nice to meet you, sir.
yeah, Mickey, go ahead, or Mikey. I don't know.
Oh, me?
Yeah. You're the first one.
Yeah, of course. So I was just wondering, how long did it take for you to start gaining traction in the start of your journey?
Yeah, so traction is subjective. First, we have to define what traction is. Traction just means, at least how I define it, it's a video in the YouTube algorithm. Whether it's in search, browse, suggest, as long as that video is in the algorithm, that's what contraction is. I would say I'm able to get traction, like brand new channels now, definitely within a week. When I first started, it took December, January, February. It took about 2.5 months. Okay, but gaining traction, the how-to process of it, it's honestly just finding what's trending, creating a video using similar keywords to that, and posting it. You don't have to be too time sensitive. So sorry guys, I do want to address Jeremiah's question.
Yeah, I can hear everything properly, so there's no issue.
Okay. So what was I saying?
Yeah, guys, sorry, John. Guys, if you could please try not to write in the chat too much, because it's a bit distracting for John, I think, because you lost your train of thought. But you were talking about traction.
Traction, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, shoot. So I sincerely apologize. I did kind of lose my train of thought.
Yeah, it was algorithm 2.5 months.
Yeah, as far as, I mean, if it comes back to me, sure, I apologize, Mickey, too. But yeah, literally just capitalizing on what's trending, using similar keywords and such. Crap. It'll come back, guys. I apologize. I don't want to make sure everyone can hear.
You were mentioning jumping on certain trends, like maybe that's the angle you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, again, nothing's really popping to mind. I just kept thinking about.
No worries, man. No worries.
Sorry, sincerely sorry, Mickey. All right.
We'll come back to this.
Yeah.
Felix, you're up next, man.
Hi guys, I'm in a cafe, so I hope there's not too loud background noise. My question is, maybe at the end or now we could analyze a short or video together. Since you said you learned so much about analyzing your own videos, I would just love to see how you go about at watching a video or how you observe content.
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to, does that involve screen sharing like how I analyze a video and such?
Yeah, maybe really quickly just go over a short or some kind of content you saw, and then just what you look at. So for example, hey, is it the effects they use, is it the content, or yeah, just your observations?
Yeah, most certainly. Give me 1 second, okay? I can actually, as far as my day-to-day routine in terms of analyzing content, I don't, there was a period of time in which I analyzed a ton of videos every single day just to kind of understand what's working. I can kind of tell you guys my takeaways from analyzing so many videos. So when it comes to outsourcing your work and content, first 30 seconds. So imagine you're trying to teach a video editor. You're telling them to create a quality video, but what exactly does quality mean? And so if you're telling them to create a quality video and you're telling them to work in the entirety of the 10-minute long duration, that's a lot to focus on. It makes it difficult for them to actually put in their efforts throughout the 10-minute video than it is to actually just tell them to focus on the first 30 seconds. So video editing, I always have a rigorous template when it comes to telling video editors that the first 30 seconds has to be absolutely phenomenal. We're talking typography flying, a lot of clip transitions. We're talking engagement clips if necessary or possible. So I do make it easy on my video editors in which I tell them, the rest of the video has to be okay. I consider it like that 80% quality, but the first 30 seconds has to be like 1,000% high quality. Okay, because it is a fact that if you can get people to watch past the first 30 seconds of your video, that is a huge plus. I can't tell you how many times people have dropped off from a video if you ask them to subscribe. The year is 2022. People know that you can subscribe to channels. Spending 10 seconds to ask people to subscribe for a channel does lead to drop-offs. If you want to ask people to subscribe, just do a lower third, little pop-up that says subscribe to the channel. But again, the year is 2022. You don't need to spend time asking people to subscribe. Following that, if you include title screens on your videos and you're seeing that people drop off, it's because you clickbait too hard. So what that means is that the title of your video, what the thumbnail is about, it's not matching what the title screen is. So I found a lot of videos drop off with that because I clickbait too hard. The title doesn't match what these viewers are about to watch. So that is another drop off point. Taking too long to start. So if the video is about 10 things you don't know about LeBron James, a huge mistake that people do is that they spend like the intro talking about who LeBron James is, when in reality people are clicking on the video because they already know who LeBron James is. So it gets kind of redundant. I'd say get straight to the point. My most successful videos are videos that technically start within the first 30 seconds. Start as in like they start giving the people what they're clicking for. So start ASAP. You don't need background information. And then last takeaway is the biggest thing you can do to increase all your guys' retention. Don't signal the video to end. Okay, so as soon as you start saying in conclusion, to summarize my thoughts, in the end, to kind of sum up this video, all those signal word enders to signal that the video is ending, boom, people are going to drop off like flies. So for my videos, just end it abruptly. Like I'd rather have viewers be like, oh, the video ended already. They watched fully through versus you start saying, okay, now thanks for watching this video. As soon as you start saying stuff like that, that's when people are like, okay, the video is ending, time to hop off, watch another video. Every single second of watch time matters. And all these takeaways have come from me analyzing videos and me asking why are people dropping off. So that's also a huge thing you can start teaching your script writers, like just end the video. You don't need to do a salutation. You don't need to do a conclusion paragraph. Just end the video. Okay.
That's a great takeaway, man.
Yeah. A quick question, like what's a good intro retention rate? Like 80%? Like the first 30
I'd say like above 70% is what I'm able to kind of get. Above 7%, obviously the higher the better. I've seen analytics of people getting 90%, which is super, super cool. So it's not impossible.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, we have Mihai.
Okay. Hello, guys. Hello, John.
Hello.
So I'm also into browse content, and I have videos that go on the home page and videos that go into the suggested section. And the videos that go on the homepage are doing much better than the ones that go into the suggested section. So how does YouTube push them into the homepage or suggested, or how do I know how that happens?
So as far as like forcing videos into suggested or browse, I don't necessarily know the answer to that, if I'm being honest. I always just consider it a win. If my video is in browse, it's a win. If my video is in suggested, it's a win. It's still going to equate to views. As far as how long you get those videos to stay in browse or suggested, I've had videos stay in browser or suggested for like 3 years now, but the metrics are so mediocre. Like it's above 10%, or like say average click through rate like 7 to 10%, and the average view duration is like 28 to 33%. So it is a mystery to me. But what I can say is that if you can still achieve good metrics like over 10% click through rate and over 30% watch duration, it doesn't guarantee your video into browse, suggested, or search, but I do think it gives it a better chance.
Yes, because the videos that go on the homepage on the browse are
Mhm.
doing much better on my channels than the ones that go in the suggested section.
Yeah. So by much better, are you talking about like in terms of click-through rate or just view count?
Click-through rate, views, all of it.
Yeah, so something to keep in mind too is that there's actually a way to analyze your metric on a specific video based on its click-through rate, whether based on traffic source. So a click-through rate on homepage is, I would say, like on par with like the one I suggested, but the click-through rate on search is actually a lot higher because there's less competition. You know, when we type in search, there's only like 4 videos that were being shown to on the first above the fold. So something to consider in when you're determining like what a good click-through rate is when you reach browser suggested, it is necessarily going to be lower. Just a thought or something to consider when you're looking at your click-through rate, but 99% of your traffic is coming from browse. It's going to be lower usually.
Mhm.
That's because it's competing with a lot more videos on the homepage, right? So
I have a
Okay.
question. I have a question as well, just a quick one, because Mr. Beast shared in one of his Twitters that the analytics for his, I think, the island video for the 100 million, and then he said that like he got, I think, 500 million impressions with a 7% CTR, and yeah, I don't remember the question. Let's move on to
but what was
Marcel.
it? Do you know what the average viewer duration was though?
No, I have no idea what the average duration is.
Yeah. So yeah, but it leads to the same thing. Like it's a mystery, you know. Like I said, my videos that have stayed in the algorithm for like 3+ years, it's very mediocre statistics. I don't know why it gets pushed versus a video today that gets a 20% click-through rate and 40% average duration. It'll get kicked out of the algorithm like within 2 weeks or so. So
Yeah.
hard to say.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Marcel, you're next.
Yeah, okay. Hi, John.
Hello.
Here. I have a question. How much stability do you have on your channels? Like, I mean, if you stop uploading, do you
So can you ask that again?
like how much like stability is the word? I don't know, like
How much the
Yeah. Like, do your views decrease when you stop uploading, or is it like a stable amount of views?
stable or like your views and your
Oh, so okay, let me know if this doesn't ask or answer your question or not. Okay, so with this model of YouTube, okay, when we're all initially first starting, the usual goal is to get a viral video, obviously, right? You want a viral video, it spikes up, but then it eventually dies down. That's kind of like step two. I say step one is to at least pay for your overhead. Step two is to kind of get those viral videos, but eventually, you get to a point where you kind of reach this stability point where you're not so reliant on viral videos and your channel looks like a search-based channel. It's just a nice flat plateaued curve in which even if you post videos, it's not necessarily going to increase, but even if you stop, it's not going to decrease. Browse channels can definitely achieve that, but you definitely need to also have evergreen content posted. As far as how long that takes to achieve that, um, it's too multifactorial. I would say anywhere from like 3 to 9 months. That's a really wide net park, but yeah, I haven't exactly determined that, so it's a hard one to answer. Okay, does that answer your question, Marcel?
yeah, a bit thanks. So you have like you make viral videos that are like focus on search as well, so they can go viral and they can go search, right? Like
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
that is part of the.
And now, how do you combine the trending and evergreen videos?
So there's no hard set rule, but I would say like for every 10 videos I post, it just happens to be this way. I'd say like 7 is trending, 3 is evergreen.
Okay,
But
thanks.
yeah, something to keep in mind too, though, is that with trends, there's no definitive date as to when trends die. Let's take, for example, what's a recent thing? Let's say I'm really good at basketball or sports, I should say. A championship in basketball just occurs. That video will still get views like surprisingly a year later. So don't be too afraid of when trends die. I do agree that trends die, but it's weird to see that some people still watch videos related to an event that happened like 1, 2, 3 years ago.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Ariana. Sorry, Mickey, I'm skipping you because you already had a question. So we are moving to Ariana.
Hi. I actually had a question for George, if that's okay.
Oh, go ahead. Hi.
Hi. So just a little bit about me. Hi, I'm new here. And from my understanding, so you guys take a different approach than me for monetizing on YouTube. So from my understanding for you guys, so you guys are doing YouTube automation. So you're not showing your face, you're creating viral videos, and you're making revenue off of AdSense, correct?
That's one of the ways, yes.
Yeah, and so the way that I use is that I incorporate a sales funnel. And so George, I see you using it as well. That's actually how I'm on this call. I got into one of your funnels. So the way that works is, you know, you give like a link, like on YouTube. I found the link on someone's YouTube here. And then you give something for free, aka a lead magnet, which is this. And then you offer a tripwire. I think you offered like a course, and then you have like a higher ticket offer. So you're utilizing like 2 ways to monetize. So my question for you is, which one generates more revenue for you?
Well, that really depends, because right now we are not generating any money with YouTube Business Academy whatsoever, because we're just starting and we want to give as much value to the community as possible. But then eventually, obviously, we do want to have certain monetizations for people who want to learn further. But like I always say that, and I think everybody's going to agree here who does this, John, Ron, everybody, is that external source of monetization is critical if you want to maximize your profit for the amount of views that you get. If you're not doing that, you're simply leaving money on the table, and all of your efforts, they're not going to waste. But why would you do that work if you could be also doing that? And, you know, I always say that, like, you offering something to your audience is actually your moral obligation, because we often think about selling as in it's evil, right? But if you're selling, it's only evil if you sell something which you don't fully believe in. If you believe in something that is like, this is actually going to help somebody, then that is your moral obligation. If you're walking down the street and there's a person who is needing help, would you not want to help that person? Of course. But this is a different kind of help. So yeah, of course, just, you know, create something that you truly believe in, that you really think that can help other people, and always have that available. I mean, why would you do all this work and not have something there? Whatever it is, you know, and this can be applied. There's infinite, like, it's just all about your creativity, how much you can go into this, you know. I've been kind of dabbling with this for a long time, and I've had different kind of mini courses before about drop servicing and all the different things. But I came to a point now where I want to create a big thing, right? I want to create big. That's why we're all here. That's why we want to do this, right? I want to do this big, right? So that's why how YouTube Business Academy came about, and when I met Ron as well. So, but yeah, and by the way, I sent you a message as well. I don't know if you've seen it or not on Discord. I actually sent like, I wrote you a really big message, Ari.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Sorry, I'm like new to Discord. I wasn't getting notifications, but I'll check. But yeah, exactly what you said. That's what I teach to people, because when I started on my YouTube journey, I actually like showing my face. But I found that getting subscribers, at least in my case, it was taking time. So I'm just like, okay, like, how can I make money without having a bunch of subscribers? And so that's what I teach to people. And so I help people in a bunch of different niches. And so it's the same thing, like offering something for free and then having them take it to the next level. So when I applied that strategy, the first time I made money, I had less than 200 subscribers, and somebody just bought 3 months of coaching from me. And so it was just 1 hour a week. So I'm like, oh, like I can teach this to other people. And so that's what I do. And so that's a strategy that I teach. And so I was just wondering, like, okay, like I'm just comparing and contrasting the two. So that's interesting, because definitely you want both working for you, because you want to maximize, you know, your income streams. So that's really good to know. Thanks.
Yeah, maybe for the next mastermind we can cover something like external monetizations or funnels. Can be interesting.
Or personal branding.
Yeah.
But Ari, just a quick note for you: script out your videos, do more B-roll, and yeah, those are the 2 main things that I was going to tell you.
Yeah, I took your advice. The video I'm going to post later has a bunch of B-roll in it. There's a bunch of moving parts. So, and plus, like, there's subtitles in the beginning. So I think now that I did that, I mean, it's taking long to edit. That's the downside of it.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Should we move on, guys? Because we're
let's move on. Let's
John
move
is
on.
our guest here, so let's
Thank you.
we have Felix up next.
We have Felix next.
Yeah.
Hey guys, hey John. So you mentioned uploading, especially in the beginning, uploading daily and as much as possible. Have you noticed any negative impacts on your channel from uploading too much, especially for browse content?
So let me kind of rephrase that. So if you're brand new starting a channel, I'll definitely space it out. I wouldn't go all in and posting daily just because you don't necessarily know what your channel is known for yet. So you kind of have to give it some breathing room is what I like to call it. So I would recommend like every other day or every other day or 3 times a week, which is like 12 to 15 times per month. Once you're really confident in your niche, that's when you can start increasing the frequency. So I kind of have like stages. This is like what I was talking about before in terms of level. So for a brand new channel, which literally I started not too long ago, step one is to kind of recognize what the channel is actually known for. So again, my go-to is sports. I'll post multiple sports types of videos, but let's say now it's known for basketball. Although the channel is not monetized, once I get a video in the algorithm, I kind of space out my videos even more until it gets monetized. So the concept there is that I'm just trying to get the video monetized. I have a single video already in the algorithm that's getting watch hours and getting subscribers. There's no need to post more videos until it gets monetized. So at this point, I'll space out my videos like once every 4 to 5 days. If that video dies, I'll start increasing my frequency again to every other day to 3 times a week. So now next stage is that the channel is monetized. You know what your channel is known for. Are you in the negative, or is your channel paying for itself? If it's paying for itself, spend all that money to post as many videos as you can without going negative, let's say in profit. Okay. So the thing here though is that between all my channels, I have channels that are posting daily, and I do admit that those channels are making more. I have channels that are posting every other day. They're still making a decent amount. I have channels that are posting like 3 times a week. It's still making an okay amount, but the ones that are posting daily, they are making more.
Okay.
Okay.
And do you think if you post too often, YouTube would restrict you? Let's say the algorithm might think you're spamming or something along those lines.
No, not necessarily. Not at all. So there's George and Ron and I have actually mentioned this guy before. So there's a YouTube channel called Side Hustle Culture.
Yeah.
That individual is posting 3 times a day in a very systemized fashion. Where I fall out with that is that that's a lot of topics to think about, especially when it comes to basketball. So class A example, he's not getting penalized at all. So
Right. All right. Awesome.
he's
Thank
actually,
you.
yeah, no worries. And he's actually making a lot more. So it just kind of gives you that idea that there is a sense of numbers game when it comes to this model of YouTube, but it's just got to be done strategically, you know.
Do you know him, by the way?
I've never met him, nor have I ever talked to him. I just watched his videos.
Okay,
Yeah.
because he should come here.
Yeah, I feel like he's been in the space probably, I would guess, actually longer than all of us. So
Probably. That's exactly why we need to learn from him.
yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna try Osalu Victor. Tell me if that's wrong or right.
Okay, I'm Victor from Nigeria.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, my question is to John. I want to ask. I have two questions. One of them is, what do you take on buying monetized channel or starting a brand new channel for YouTube automation? You know, with the buying a monetized channel, we can easily skip out working for 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours. So, what do you think about buying a monetized channel for a YouTube automation channel?
No, that's a very good question I get asked. I'm very used to answering it. So with monetized channels, there's obviously that you get straight to the money making aspect, but I kind of see it like if you're really into this YouTube model game to really hone in on your skills, starting from scratch is no better way to test that. So I'm able to start channels from scratch and get them monetized. Huge problem that I'm seeing nowadays is that really silly reuse content demonetization mark that I'm sure some people here can relate with. The common pattern that I'm seeing is that people who start pre-monetized, they are getting slapped with reuse content. I don't know why, but that's just a common pattern. I haven't exactly dialed it down that the reason why they're getting demonetized is because they started with a pre-monetized channel, but that's just my assumption. Okay. So
Okay,
go ahead.
okay. So my other question is, I do have a YouTube automation channel, but what I noticed is in some months I get like lots of views and that yields more revenue. But in some other months, same amount of views, but then I kind of see that the revenue is lowered, and I do not really understand what's the reason behind the same amount of views and then the revenue getting lowered.
So my answer to that, it's like because you're posting videos, right?
Yes.
During these time. So when you're posting these videos, it depends on what type of audience that video attracts and what advertisers are willing to pay for. So that's like the fluctuation in CPM that you'll see. So I think his name was Hessel. He put a good a post out in which he was talking about how do you get a higher CPM. It depends on what video or what type of audience your videos attract. So if
Yeah.
you're attracting like a first world country audience in which advertisers are willing to pay for, they're trying to be in front of like a US or England based or Australian based type of audience. They're going to pay more. But if you're attracting like with all respect, like a third world country where advertisers aren't supposed to be or aren't really interested in being in, your CPM is going to go lower. So
Yeah.
that kind of like stems from like the topic idea, the keywords that you're choosing,
Yeah.
whether or not it's for a US based audience or something. So
Do you
Thank
think
you.
do you think the narration, the accent of the narration of the voiceover has a difference where your video gets
Yeah.
pushed to? So for
I
example, if
yeah.
if it's a US narration or if it's an English narration but with a heavy accent of another country, do you think that has a difference?
I don't think so, but I
You
have
don't
actually
think so?
haven't tested that. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to think about is how would the algorithm actually differentiate that when it only recognizes like words? I don't think it recognizes accents.
Yeah,
It can only
so
recognize words.
How,
So
I
how
think
about
that basically the
how
RPM.
about
Guys, one by one, please.
No, that I think that the like as you John said, that doesn't detect the algorithm, but the people that watch the videos more propense to listen and you like a more like common accent. Like if you are from the US, usually I think you will be more like propense to listen to a US person than an Indian guy. So if you do Indian content, you are more propense to have less RPM for that reason. I like feel that with tutorials. I do like tutorials, and all Indian and Pakistan tutorials like has less RPM with the same topics, just because the US guys are more like propense to watch US tutorials. So
how about the location of the channel? The location of where you are as the
Hey,
channel
Victor,
owner.
I'm really sorry, but we got to move on because we have a lot more people. So I'm really sorry for interrupting you here. We have Kareem. You're up next, man.
What's up, guys? Hey, John. So my question is basically, I've heard you so much like saying that two metrics that matters the most, which is of course the CTR and the average view duration. And I've heard you said like that 8% plus CTR are metrics for a video to go viral. But nowadays I have videos that got so much like that got better metrics than this. Like I have, for example, 20 plus CTR and 50% average video duration, but the videos didn't go viral at all or didn't get recommended. So my question is there's other metrics that makes the videos go viral other than CTR?
yeah, so the way I think about it is like if you achieve like I'm gonna say my metrics are like 10% and 30%, so 10% CTR and 30%. If you achieve those metrics, it doesn't guarantee virality, but you just have a higher chance. So at this point, if you're able to consistently achieve 10%, 30%, you have a higher chance of going viral. It just doesn't guarantee viral.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I got it.
You just put yourself in a better position. So as far as other metrics,
Yeah.
not so much I can think of. It depends also like what's currently trending is one thing I can think of. But if you're able to achieve 20% CTRs, you're definitely doing something right. It's a numbers game at that point. When students come to me and they're asking why aren't my videos going viral, even though I'm achieving really high metrics, you just gotta post more. Just post more videos. One is bound to go viral if you're achieving really high metrics like that.
Do you think the topics matters? Maybe the problem in topic specifically?
Oh, 1000%. So where my kind of like we call it YouTube automation and the reason is to be hands off, but where my hands are in play, it's coming up with the topics for my channels. Because I don't think anyone knows basketball topics better than me. And that's me being like very
Yeah,
confident
100%.
about myself. So that's why I'm not afraid also to tell people niches of going to sports, going to basketball, going to golf. But that's because I'm very good at coming up with topics. So that's still something that I still do. That's still something that I'm personally in charge of. I don't outsource it, but at the same time, I'm able to think of topics just like that.
So what's your process? So what's your process for coming up with ideas?
Topics are ideas anonymous.
No, but like, what's the process of you coming up with them?
Oh, so I watch sports like practically every single day. So anytime I see something, I watch like sports news. Like literally, I'm consuming my niche. Just so this is how I stay on top of my niche compared to anyone else going into sports. So while I'm eating, I'll be watching sports news on Instagram. While I'm browsing through Instagram, I'll be reading sports news. Now, as far as if let's pretend that you don't know sports, you can use Feedly, but disclaimer: Feedly is a paid application. So what it does is that it curates all these blog articles. Yeah, Sports Center 24/7. Feedly curates all these blog articles so that you just have to check one area, and it'll organize it based on what's being shared the most. So that's been a really good source. Google News is probably my #1 source when it comes to coming up with topics. So if I know LeBron James is very trending, I'll just Google LeBron James and then I'll click the news tab on Google and then I'll just browse through thinking like what I think a good topic is. As far as a common theme for what good topics are, it's got to be party versus party. So what I mean by this is that people like drama. People like when one person is quote unquote fighting another person. So in the basketball sense, really hot topic right now is LeBron James trade rumors. So there's not necessarily a versus topic there. Versus as I mean like LeBron James versus something. But the way I term that is like LeBron James is officially done with the Lakers after this. Do you see how it's like LeBron James versus the Lakers? So that type of versus type style works really well no matter what niche you're in. People really like when two parties are like fighting each other or against each other. So that's a very common theme I always try to look for or kind of rephrase within my topic. It's not just LeBron James trade rumors. It's LeBron James versus the Lakers. That's the way I see things. Any niche. So
Yeah, Joel,
I feel like if you make now, if you make a video about, oh my God, why am I blanking today? About FTX. If you make a video about that, I feel like if you make a really good video, I feel like because there's a lot, I've been recommended a lot on that my feed. Someone said my name.
Yeah. I just have one last question.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I just want to ask
Go ahead.
John. Sometimes when a trendy topic is up and everybody makes a video about it, why some people got recommended more than other people?
I think it really just nails down to like the click-through rate. I do think there's a sense of who got it out first plays a role.
Okay, yeah.
But it really comes down to the simple metrics of click-through rate, watch time. Which video is being watched more? Which video is being clicked more?
Okay. I got it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
By the way, I just remembered my thought about Mr. Beast. You guys remember I had that? I blanked on it. Basically, he was saying that like the viewer, if they had a good experience with your previous video, the next time you post a video, they're more likely to click. So when the video has a lot of impressions and Mr. Beast has a 7% CTR, that also shows that his video satisfaction rate among the viewers is so high that people are clicking. Like, you know, it's like almost like a religious thing. Like, oh, Mr. Beast posted a video, like, let's watch it. Because 7% on 500 million impressions, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of add on, his one saying is that the video he posts today sets up his click-through rate for the next video.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a very important
That's very important, I think.
Yeah.
Every video matters that you put out, and if you try to make every video better and you increase the satisfaction of the viewer, like think of yourself, like how your viewing habits are, you know, like when Mr. Beast posts a video, do you click and watch the whole thing? Yes, because you know that what he delivers is going to be bomb. Who's next?
Yeah.
We have Felix Müller.
So me again, I have a question, John. So if you would start again, what would be the niche on also the type of channel you would do? Because at the moment, I'm not sure if I should go for a browse channel, so just content I like and I would just want to make some topics about it, or really go for the search based, so taking specific problems and making tutorials about them.
Yeah, so I'm very biased, Felix, just because I have 3 years of doing the same type of channel model. The search-based channel, it's really appealing. I really like the low overhead aspect of it. I really like the longevity of it. It's not so reliant on viral videos. It's a long-term game. But even so, if I were to start over again, it's just doing, again, this is me being extremely biased. I would just keep doing what I'm doing. It's browse-based sports channels are my go-to. People love hearing niches, but as far as other niches, I'm really heavily invested in. General top 10 stories is huge. TV shows and movies is huge. Some common celebrities, practically every sport you can think of, except pickleball, working on that one. But those are the niches I would start, and it just revolves the same exact thing. So step one, try to capitalize on trending, see what's working, or see what's on the news currently. I've started probably 4 basketball channels following the same exact method. It works practically every time. I forget who I was telling, but literally 7 days I can get something in the algorithm when done right. Should be no problem. Does that help you out? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
All right, so we have 15 minutes. We have 3 people here, Mickey, Marcel, and Felix. Let's take it one by one, and I think that should be pretty good to round it up after these questions. So, Mickey, another question for you.
Thank you a lot. So I would just like to ask a question that was asked earlier in this meeting, and that was, does the location of the channel have any impact on the video's performance?
I personally don't think so. This isn't backed by actual all too much confidence, but I really think it matters what type of audience you attract.
Yeah.
So if you're posting a video from Philippines, you're attracting a US based audience. I do think you're gonna get a nice CPM that's US based. I think, but I must also admit that for every single channel I start, I always make sure that the location is US based, language is English. So I haven't really experimented with that all too much, Mickey.
Okay, so I live in Denmark, right? So let's say I set the channel's location to the United States. Don't you think they would like track my IP and they would like fuck with the algorithm?
Yeah, I don't think they have all that too much time to kind of come after you like that.
Yeah,
So I think you're perfectly fine. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, my audience is also like 60% is from the USA, and I live in the Netherlands, so it's no issue.
There you go. Great example.
And Ron, do you have your channel set to the US?
I think I have the location of my channel set up in the US,
Yeah.
but my IP and everything is just Dutch. So,
So it doesn't matter that much. You don't think?
I don't think so. I don't think so. No.
And by the way, Denmark has really high CPMs.
Yeah, I know there's some countries that have way higher CPMs than the US.
Yeah, UAE as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like that part of Europe has, like Denmark, I know for sure has a really high one. All right, Marcel, another question. Let's go.
Okay, again. I have a question. Do you sell stuff to your audience or like external things on the basketball or on your sports channels?
Sorry, talking about like external monetization, Marcel?
Yeah.
I spoke with this with George and Ron before, but unfortunately, it's something that I haven't done yet. So everything that I do, it is purely AdSense. But I must admit, though, that my time right now, 20% is dedicated to YouTube automation. 80% is dedicated to personal branding. I've made a video on this on my YouTube channel before, but the way I see YouTube automation is that use it as like a cash grab. Try to make as much cash from it as possible, but then try to diversify, because essentially we are all at the mercy of YouTube. We never know what'll happen. Maybe they can slash ad rates. Maybe they can stop monetization. It's a scary thing knowing that if all your videos or all your income relies on YouTube automation. But, you know, best case scenario, you start working in another business, but YouTube automation still sticks around for 10, 20, 30 years to come. Now you've got the best of both worlds. You've got another business, you've got YouTube automation working, but it's just preparing, you know, diversifying.
Okay. And for the topics that you said like before, do you copy like other videos or usually like go like have the ideas yourself? Like yeah.
If I don't know the niche, I will look at other channels. So example again, so I talked about how I launched a sports channel. I'm trying multiple different sports. I ended up attracting a golf audience. I don't watch golf at all, nor do I know anything about it. So I have to analyze other channels and see what they're posting. So they're posting these videos. It's the same exact thing. I would actually just get inspiration from their titles, or as bluntly said, copy their titles, reword it, rephrase it, and then repost it again.
Okay.
But for basketball, it's ideas that are like, I call it like pioneer ideas. It's ideas that have never been done before. And when done right, those are the type of videos that will absolutely like skyrocket to the moon in terms of view count. So again, I do believe that there's some leverage for knowing your niche. It does help if you really know your niche and you can just think of topics yourself.
Yeah.
So definitely get in that position, ideally.
Okay.
By the way, coming back to the idea about external monetization, the first time we talked, the three of us, you gave this incredible idea, which I really liked, and that we kept talking a lot about with Ron, is that you make a network of 5 channels, for example, in the same niche, and then you go out to a company or to a startup or something, and you're like, hey, we have a network of channels in the same niche. Would you like to be sponsored in every single one of those videos? That's how many videos we post. That's how many views we get. And you can imagine how much that company would be willing to probably, and you said that you're kind of, you had that idea in mind, but you didn't go into that. And I just kept thinking about it. And I think that was like a really powerful way of monetizing.
I imagine that. So to kind of give more context what George is talking about, everyone, it's like I have 5 sports channels. I reach out to a company saying I have 5 sports channels. Do you want to sponsor all its videos? It's more appealing. It's very, very appealing to a company. So that's one approach that I'll make it a goal to kind of launch that, or kind of at least enacting it before the end of this year. But I think it's a good way. So a little off topic, but one of the biggest mistakes I wish I've done was that once you have a channel working within your niche and you're planning to start another channel, just start another channel within the same niche. Honestly, like you already know the niche, you've already read data on it. There's no reason. Like I thought it was cool to have a sports channel, have a celebrities channel, have a tech channel, have a luxury channel, but I was kind of thinking about it the wrong way. Ideally, I would have had just all sports channels, or all celebrity channels, or all TV show channels. So that's the way I would approach it.
Yeah, dominating the niche.
Yeah.
All right, we have Felix, another Felix, not the Müller.
US Felix.
Yes, the UX Felix.
So earlier you mentioned something about your thumbnails being too clickbaity and that'll hurt your duration.
Yeah.
So is there a way to balance that? How do you balance that? Like not making your thumbnails too good?
I mean, I like to call it like it's a first world problem to have. Okay,
Yeah.
I have a 30% click-through rate, but then people are bouncing off. That's really good. Like you should still applaud yourself for getting a 30% click-through rate.
Yep.
You just have to make sure that what you talk about in your video is actually being delivered by what's being stated in your title. It's not necessarily the thumbnail. I'd say that it's the title of what you title your video doesn't align with what you're delivering in your video.
Okay, so I was viewing this the completely wrong way. Instead of changing the thumbnails, just make better videos. Got it.
Yeah, just make sure that what you're delivering in your video matches, and it can be completely black and white. I mean, scratch that. It can be like really thought about out of the box. So very common type of video I make is 10 things you didn't know about LeBron James, 10 things you don't know about X. Okay, whatever it may be. I'm not titling my video that, but the title is going to be like, you won't believe that LeBron James does this. So it's still going to talk about the same thing. It's not so out of the box, but it's a lot more appealing, if you can see that, subjectively or opinionated. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Felix.
So we have one question from Crypto TV. Why the advantage to start multiple channels? What does it say here? On the same topic instead of one. Yeah, so I think John kind of answered that because you understand the topic much better.
You understand your topic a lot more. You understand what already works. You've already analyzed data within that niche. If you wanted, you can definitely use com boards from your previous channel to bring over to your new channels. That's also a possibility. I know TubeBuddy has a feature where you can bulk end screen change all your videos. So that's another way to boost your new channel's videos if it's in the same niche. So there's a lot of advantages to start multiple channels in the same niche than to kind of diversify.
Right. And I know I asked you this question in our first talk, but I want to ask you this again for the people who are just starting out, because as you know, like a lot of the thumbnails and a lot of the titles are appealing to the people who are just starting out. If you would have to start over right now from scratch again, you have all the knowledge, but you have nothing. And you don't have any money. No, okay, let's say let's take two scenarios. Let's take two scenarios. One scenario is you don't have any money, and the second scenario you have 10,000.
Okay.
What would you do?
Even though, so first one with the money wise, because that's more realistic on my end of what I've actually gone through. Even though you have 10K to blow, it doesn't mean you need to spend 10K on it. Ideally, overhead, get it as low as possible. Get it as low as possible, and then start posting videos, and then start reading the data. I'm huge into like, yeah, you're gonna go into debt, you're gonna go negative for a couple months or so, but it'll be totally worth it if you know what you're doing, you're analyzing your data. If I didn't have any money, I would simply just grind it out. When I actually, one thing I did forget to mention was that once upon a time, I did write my own scripts. I did do my own voiceovers. I did do the video edit. Took probably like 18 hours, but for a period of time, I was doing that by myself. Um, I think it's important to kind of be like a jack of all trades, at least know what a good script is, what a good sounding voiceover is, actually go through the process of what it takes to actually perform those tasks, so that when you start outsourcing, you have like a standard or expectation that you need to meet. If you're hiring a script writer but you don't know what a good script is, then it's kind of tough. Same thing with a voiceover. But there's other ways to approach with that, but that's what I would do. Just grind it out, make a few videos yourself. It's gonna suck. Maybe you'll enjoy it. Maybe you won't have any overhead.
And when you're talking about cost, how much is your average cost per video, and how is that broken down?
So right now, I'd say at the peak is like $100 a video. And that is very hefty when I heard about how much search-based channels are making, or costing for their videos. The breakdown is like, let's see, I'd say like 25, 25, 40, and then 5, 5. So 25 script, 25 voiceover, about 40. These are max, okay? 25 max for a script, 25 for a voiceover, 40 for a video edit, and then 5 for a thumbnail, 5 for like miscellaneous project management hours or description writing is what I leave that towards. But again, you can get this a lot cheaper. And it's what I always tell people. I know you can get these videos for like $60, $50 or less, sometimes even $40 if you're lucky. Simple screen recordings, maybe you're doing just motivational videos, taking speeches, $20. So there's a lot easier or less cost-intensive ways to get these videos done.
Yeah.
I just stick with my roots. I have a team that I've been working with for 3 years. I still pay them a nice premium, hefty price, but their results speak for themselves. So,
yeah. So what are the final words of encouragement that you would like to leave us with? Maybe that we haven't asked you about something. Maybe you want to say something, words of wisdom.
I think I briefly touched on this earlier. Like, you can ask Ron all the questions you want. You can ask George all the questions you want, but posting is definitely going to be your #1 teacher. If I can go back in time, though, I do wish I had individuals like Ron and George to kind of, at least for some guidance or someone to kind of talk to and ask questions about. So that still is very, very important, getting yourself or a mentor or coach. But combining that, spend like 20% of the time asking questions and learning about YTA. Spend 80% of the time actually start posting your videos. Start posting a lot of videos. Again, recall that I probably posted like 5,000 videos. Post a lot of videos. Really start learning the data, what works, what doesn't work. Get through that learning curve already, because once you kind of reach the level where I'm at, where it is very, very easy to do YTA from my position, I think it's so incredibly easy. But this is backed by 3 years of learning. I'd say 2 years of extreme night and day working. This was during COVID, so I was forced to work, forced to study. But now the payoff is incredible. Like I said, 20% of my time goes to YTA. 80% of the time, I spend it with however I want. I go spend it with family. I hang out, go to the park, play sports, work on my own personal business. That's not even making a fraction of what YTA is making. A lot of it, it's just all leads to freedom of time. If that's something that you value, then YTA is definitely for you. So,
man, that's very powerful, and that's very motivating as well. So everybody wants to thank you for your time, for doing this. We learned a lot from you today, and yeah, thank you everybody for attending. I hope you guys found it valuable, and yeah, that's
Until
it.
next time.